Greetings, loves. So, I want to read something that someone else wrote, and I must give them credit. It was the mama attorney. The mama attorney. This looks like Instagram. It was posted on TikTok, but it looks like she posted it on Instagram. But either way, it's the mama attorney. She says, "You're in a psychological trance." hmm So she starts off by saying, "Lawyer here. The method in which the Epstein files are being released is deliberately designed to put you in a psychological trance. This is their strategy. Here's how I know this. In trial practice, when there are exhibits involving violence, children, or extreme harm, we do not simply dump information into the room. We go back and forth extensively about how and when something is shown. The judge guides the process. Experts contextualize it. It's the gum. It's fresh. I'm sorry. When it's fresh, it makes my mouth water so much. Okay, I'm gonna try to tuck it and right in the cheeks. That's gonna make it even worse. It just makes my mouth water when it's fresh. What's up, Joe? First, hit the light. Okay, so I'm gonna try to stop the waterfall so I can read because this is really good. This is really good, and it is so true. It is so true. Okay, so she says, I'm gonna go back a little bit. In trial practice, when there are exhibits involving violence, children, or extreme harm, we do not simply dump information into the room. We go back and forth extensively about how and when something is shown. The judge guides the process. Experts contextualize it. It's a container equipment to hold this content. Same here. We received events frozen in fragments. There is no arc, only horrifying snapshots after horrifying snapshot. A nervous system can hold horror only if it's sequenced, paced, and contextualized. If it's not, it will oscillate, fixate, or shut down. What you are being fed is exposure to terror without containment. Make no mistake, this is psychological guerrilla warfare. So you feel it. You feel it all. You feel it in your jaw, your gut, your chest. You're weary around your children. You rage at your partner. You cut out relatives. You feel irritable. And you have a headache and you can't sleep. You feel crazy. This is the trance, and it's where they want you. Please know this. It's super important. You are not crazy. You are having a normal biological response to abnormal psychological warfare. This is why trials involving extreme harm rely on the structure. The law does not do this to protect perpetrators, but to protect the jury. What is happening now is the opposite. There's a massive document drop with no categorization, containment, or guidance. The onus is placed entirely on the reader to make sense of chaos. There are random redactions that force the brain into constant guesswork. You have to deduce, infer, fill in the blanks. This keeps the mind spinning, searching, looping. Number one, you become frustrated. What she say? You become consumed. I guess I'm consumed and frustrated, so you become consumed. You deep dive. You push to get more information. You stop sleeping. It takes over your life. Your focus narrows until there's nothing left. Gradually, they frack all of your life force. They keep you locked in an endless energy loop in their sick mind games. You become one of their victims. Number two, you disengage completely. You decide it's too much, too confusing, too overwhelming. You walk away. It implodes from your exhaustion. When you name the wave, you start asking, what is being done to me and why? Noticing restores agency. Agency to engage or disengage, to step back, take breaks, to only review synthesis instead of fragments. Agency to refuse to become a landfill for unprocessed violence. You can demand accountability without sacrificing yourself. Justice does not require self-destruction. You are allowed to survive this intact. In fact, that is a part of the rebellion also. When the trauma cannot be held by the people who use it, it cannot be processed by systems designed to contain it. It looks for somewhere else to go. It looks for nervous systems capable of carrying the terror. Mothers are particularly vulnerable to psychological warfare because of our protective instincts. So your body begins to alchemize what the children could not, because they were in a shock of state. I think state of shock. And what these men responsible refuse to metabolize. You may have assumed that they are sloppy. They are not. This is a known strategy. The most ruthless corporate defense lawyers fight cases this exact same way. Disorganized document drops and endless data with no roadmap. Both high volume but also evasive. Is at the same time too much information, but it also omits the most crucial information. The strategy has two predictable outcomes. Now, when the nervous system is overwhelmed, it seeks relief. This looks like outrage, doom scrolling, obsessing, or wanting to throw your phone into the ocean. Time starts to collapse. Days blur together. You check your phone compulsively. You think, I just need to understand this piece. But there's no final piece. There's always another fragment, another heart dangling just out of frame. And you lose your agency. Now, courts understand that when the brain is flooded with horror, your system gets hijacked by the primal brain. You go into hypervigilance, rage, obsession, and collapse. We have a name for this. It's called reptile theory. A reptile theory is a trial strategy built on this premise. If you can bypass the cognitive brain and activate the primate survival brain, that is the oldest reptile part of the brain, then you can control outcomes without ever persuading on facts or law. This strategy is not allowed at trial. oscillating between being completely consumed and enraged, wanting to turn away and burn your phone forever. It's a healthy response. That swing in your nervous system is trying to protect itself. The risk is not the oscillation. The risk is not noticing it. Noticing is the rupture to the trance. It's how you peel away. The moment you observe the pattern, instead of being inside, the spell weakens. Again, this is the mama attorney, and she decided to share this with us. Took a lot of writing, and I don't know about y'all, but this was helpful for me because it helped put into logical context some of what I'm experiencing with all of this. And it's not just those files, baby. It's a whole lot of things, right? But even after being educated and taking psychology and learning about all these theories and things like that, you can become overwhelmed and you can feel all of the things she described. I've seen a lot of people, more than I care to count, say that I can't look. I gotta turn away. I can't watch it. I can't see it. I can't know it. I can't think it. I can't hear it. I used to be lenient to those thoughts in people. I used to respect that. And I used to say, if that's what they need to do, yeah. We're past that point. We're past that point. No one gets the luxury of ignoring anything anymore. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. I was watching people on TikTok have a debate this AM about whether or not we should have a revolution. It's an overwhelming number of people who say that we can't. We're not built like that. We are too separated. Just all the reasons why we can't. A lot of people don't believe in us, and a lot of people are scared. Now, there was another content creator who said something else. I hope I saved that. Let me see. Thank y'all for hitting the like, sharing. Feel free to comment. But again, that was the mama attorney. Feel free to follow her. Okay, I have it. So I found what he was saying to be very interesting. I think that what I just read to you guys is something that we should learn to understand in its entirety. Because if we don't know what is happening, then we certainly don't have a chance of being able to figure out what to do about it. The days of doing nothing is over. It's over. I'm going to play what he had to say before I go any further.
The biggest con the government ever pulled on us was to convince us to work 40 plus hours a week, 5 days a week.
It's the wrong post, but hey, it's still relevant, so I'm going to let him rock out because he was getting down.
For 50 years, spending no time with your friends, your family, your passions, or your children. all to retire with a social security check that isn't even enough to pay 1 month's rent. The truth is we are all slaves to the system, yet they distract us with entertainment and games and overwhelm us with the fear cycle so that we just put our heads in the sand and continue to work, continue rushing around in life, never having a moment to look up and realize that we are all slaves in the system. A system that convinces you to work the majority of your life away, never spending time with your family, your children, and if you're lucky, retire at 65. And if you're even luckier, you get one more decade before you succumb to a lifetime of working. All so that a few powerful white men at the top get wealthy beyond belief so that they can live like gods amongst men. And then they accomplish this by convincing half the population that the oppressed minority is the reason your life is hard and not the wealthy minority, which is actually the reason for your struggles and pain. Your enemy is not your neighbor. Your enemy is not an immigrant. Your enemy is not someone with a different religion. Your enemy has always been and will always be the rich and powerful who pit us against each other so that we never rise up to overthrow the con men in business suits. Until women have true equality and true power over their own bodies, until native treaties are honored, until the mass thugs kidnapping and killing our people on the streets are brought to justice, until the Epstein files are released fully unredacted, so long as our tax dollars are spent on bombing children in the third world, so long as the modern day slavery in the form of the prison industrial complex is still standing, and so long as the military industrial complex takes priority over the well-being of our fellow Americans, I say we call for revolution. Thank you all so much for having me.
Okay. This is part of a longer speech. I have not heard the rest of it. I haven't looked for it yet, but I will. I don't even know who he is. It does not say in the description, unless it says his page.
The biggest con the government ever pulled
Let
on
me see, because I just want
us was to convince us to work 40
give
plus
credit to whom is speaking. So I'm trying to tap on his profile. Actually, this is his page. So it is Courtling. Okay. I don't know when this speech was made. Okay, there it is. So there's 4 parts. And that was the final part. Okay, so I will be saving the rest of those parts.
hours a week, 5.
So what he said is also important. It's also a piece of the puzzle. And these are things that, we discuss all the time. We discuss all the time. And when people constantly say, release the files unredacted, I don't think that they're ever going to do that. And I don't think that we should rely on that. We saw the post with Michael Jordan. I saw video after video of men first saying that he will forever be goated, mentioning his status and saying that would never change. Some of them literally started with that. And that to me told me everything I needed to know. I didn't even need to listen to what else they had to say. Because it should not even be mentioned. The subject matter is assessing what we saw and then addressing what we saw. However, that's where they went with it. And a lot of them say that it translates to me as, I don't care what y'all talking about. Whatever you trying to say he did or didn't do doesn't matter to me. And this is concerning a child and potentially children. Now, people have their own opinions about what it was we saw. As I do mine. there just to give my own opinion, there's no doubt in my mind that that was completely inappropriate, and it was something in him that triggered the inability for him to contain himself, knowing that he was in a spotlight. Do I know what that is? Not exactly. I have an inkling on what that is, because this is psychological warfare, and it is a spiritual war. What I have been noticing is the boldness increasing as of late. There are cases that I and other people have been involved with over the years. And I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. What's being shown to us, just readily shown to us, that they know we deem it inappropriate and unacceptable, yet they still show it to us. Nowadays, it tells me of a shift to another level in this war. It also makes me side-eye anybody who could possibly think that Michael Jordan wouldn't fondle a child right there in front of everybody. That's the stage we're in right now. But it was coming. We saw it coming. We knew
This is getting
we
out
knew
of hand.
we knew this was coming. And we did nothing for a long time. We knew about NAMBLA. We knew about people in politics in certain states openly fighting for laws to be changed, for it to be a preference to be attracted to a minor, a young one. And we discussed it, but barely, and we did nothing. I could go on and on and on. We saw too much, we know too much. Even with, I'm still gonna call him Sleepy Joe. Okay. And that's, y'all can have the arguments over the president. I don't do that. I don't do that. But we saw this guy being inappropriate with children again and again and again. Nobody did anything. Each time they were presenting things to us, and when we allow it, it empowers them even more. Oh, what's up, Hannah? Thank you for commenting. Thank you. I appreciate that. No one is uncertain of the dangers our children have been in and how unprotected they are. But we still aren't doing enough. And while we aren't doing enough, more and more people become, as I call it, infected with the desire. And not only the desire, because some of them had the desire, it was just dormant, with the guts and the boldness and the confidence to move forward with it. You know, all this sweeping it under the rug, not knowing how to protect, because, you know, when it happened to you, you weren't protected. Generation after generation, excusing it away, things like that. We give them more power to go forward. We know that this country in other countries too, but I'm just gonna stick with this country, had laws, and in some states it's still a very low number where a man could marry a young one. It was very common, and I had to realize just recently that I would always say to people, "Oh, it's very common where I'm from to be married and have children very early." And then I noticed a pattern of 13, 13 throughout the generations. 13, 13. Hmm? We know of celebrities who have taken in uh, children. We can call them teens, but children as their brides. And we kind of skate past it. We still honor them and what they contributed as far as their talents. People do the same thing with R. Kelly. They debate whether or not he should be freed, whether or not he's guilty. What was the tricks that was played on people? Because regardless of the documentary, regardless of who may have not told the truth or this, that, and all that controversy, there is no mistake that he at 27 married Aaliyah at 15. There's no mistake about that. So what are we confused about? And he wasn't the only man that was with her. Parents serving their children up, because that's what her family did. And it happens every day. We're dealing with a case right now. I've been posting about this case, and there's a whole ring, a whole Epstein-like cult ring where the same thing is happening. And these parents just came on here and lied to our faces, but at the same time told on themselves. One mother who recently did a couple of interviews, she has a stepson that is there who was apparently abused as a child. So he began to abuse his sibling and his cousins. And then he was sent to a predator. And there is one young boy who he's all over the internet, and we're trying to get him rescued. Pretty sure that that older guy, who is her stepson, is aiding in the abuse of him. Now, this woman claims that she's concerned and wants to get help for the young one, but she just recently sent her other son there. Went and picked up her son, brought him back, told us that the son was afraid. He understood he was being groomed, and he witnessed something horrible happening to the young boy. So he wanted her to come pick him up. So we watch her in their church service on live praise the predator and the entire congregation, if that's what you want to call it, about her son and how great he's doing, how well he's blossoming since he's been there. He was only there for a short visit, and how happy he is, and just praising him. And I said, when she first showed up, they sent her as a plant. Just a little monkey wrench, just a little deceiver to try to throw people off the trail and see what she can also learn. But to sit there and watch this from a mother, then another mother, which is the mother of the sister of the older boy that was abused. Her and her partner comes on, and these parents are bought and sold. And it's plain as day. This dude's heinous acts, plain as day. And he has the town, the politicians, he has so many people in his hands. But where's he getting the money from? I say follow the money. This is massive. There was another content creator that made a post, and I should have saved it, but I don't think I did. I should. Okay, thank you. I should have saved it. A white? But she was saying, let me see if I saved it. I don't think I did. I think it was on her reel or something. But she was explaining, it was a little lengthy, but she was explaining that we must tell our children that they are not safe. We had to stop with the phony baloney, and we have to unlearn and undo everything that we were told, everything that we're used to. We have to get rid of so-called traditions because they are rituals that keep us stuck. And we have to completely change the way we do everything. And the children have to know that they are not safe. It's okay if you're mean to a stranger. They have to know that they're not safe anywhere and with anybody. They're not. Some people are comfortable in a zone where they can just believe that this and that is not true, when in fact it is. See things for what they really are, because it's what they are. You wanting them to be different is not going to make it different. Because of the power that we have allowed these people to, these entities to occur, we feel outnumbered when we're not. We're not. And the craziest part to me is that this is not of God. This is not of good energy. This is bad energy that they're working off of. So what happened to good over evil? Is that it's like everybody's either afraid or they just don't believe we can. We must. The position we're in never existed before. You can choose what you want to believe. A father who is an immigrant, I believe this was it Texas? Well, he just pow-powed and deleted his very beautiful daughter because she opposes the current president. And they had court, and he will not be punished. He will not be punished. Family was there, and he says, my gun just went off. Okay. For those of us who know about guns. let me not say that word again. I got way too many keywords in here that's another way of control and keeping us in la la land. They don't want you to actually say the things that are actually happening. My 8-year-old niece was taken away by a 10-year-old boy. His mother was watching them while my brother went to work, her and her younger sister. And I don't even think he had made it to work yet when he got the call that the boy pop-out her in her head. And this was a couple of years ago. He was on social media. He had a fascination with GUNs. He is a white. It must be mentioned, I'm from North Carolina. His grandfather despised us. I wouldn't have took my children there, but my brother's married to a white, so maybe he's on a different level of delusion. Now, this is about what I am saying is about the fact that if you have hate, clear hate in your family, my children aren't safe there, especially when I'm not there. I'll find somebody else because I don't trust. It's too close. It's too close. He's openly, hateful. I'll use that word in place of the other word. And he allowed his grandson to have his
when y'all go on and on about how
weapon. So the mother says that the boy took it out the closet, tried to get it out the closet. We're talking about top of the closet. He's 10 years old. And it fell and it went off. Same thing this father tried to say to the police. So the police said, what happened to the van? We were getting ready to go to the airport. She asked me, did I have a pow-pow? I said, yes. I went to go get it. And when I got it, as soon as I pointed it at her, it went off. First of all, how are you even touching one if you don't know how to operate it? You don't know how to be safe with it. So not believing you there. Secondly, they don't do that. I'm clumsy. I drop mine a lot. They don't do that. Contrary to what a lot of people who really don't know anything about them will like to believe, people who make them, they do pretty good. And they do have a lot of safety mechanisms. And you're going to have to pull it. Squeeze it, however you want to call it. But you're going to have to apply that pressure on that sweet spot in order for it to take off. That's it. That's it. So the mother of the 10-year-old boy says he tried to get it out the closet. It dropped and pop out her in her head. While her baby sister says he pointed it there, and forensics, of course. And they wanted to do absolutely nothing. This father is an immigrant. On top of, I'm just going to show the little girl. I'm not going to show my niece.
this is getting out of hand. A white MAGA man shoots and kills his own daughter after she criticized Donald Trump. And a grand jury in Texas decided that no one needs to be prosecuted. And suddenly, the questions we usually hear, they disappear.
Well,
because let's be honest.
Okay, hold on. He's gonna say a lot of stuff about because he's white and the whole. He's gonna go into the politics of it all, which matters. She's so beautiful. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve for her last breaths to be that my father did this to me because we don't agree. This is what is becoming. But when you see him and talking to the police, he not even feeling away. Some people say he said, I have 2 more daughters. That's spiritual warfare. That's spiritual warfare. Over what? What happened to everybody's religions? What happened to the things that you were taught, that you read, that you believe? Who are you praying to? Are you praying to actual people that walk and talk here? Because coming up in a cult myself, a religious cult, and going through several different religions, was always taught that there is but one Father and through the Son. And that is actually who created us. So nobody walking around here created me. Now my parents, I portal through them, they're not even here no more. Or my grandparents. They should be. They would be. If my people weren't tampered with so much. Yeah. But no man here created me. So who could be greater than the Creator? What's up with all this praising people who they don't really care about you? And the days of them promising you something and you're really getting anything out of it, as far as I can tell, those are gone too, because they're done making anything better for us. This is hell on earth right here for us. There's nobody that can be happy with this unless you're with them and you're doing the things that they're doing. Now, by me saying that, the only way now in these days and time that you're comfortable, cozy, or you can settle for life as it is right now, at this point, is if you are with them and you partake in what they do. And there is no exceptions to being with them and partaking in what they do. It is a must, it's a qualifier. They all. We don't have all the Epstein files. We have enough to know that it's all of them. Yet we will get the argument from people that Michael Jordan was getting ice out of the little boy's shorts. I will not never debate anybody on what I see, what I know, because my confirmation doesn't come from man on earth. So I'm sure I don't trust man. I don't need man to try and interpret to me what I saw. There's no way that it couldn't have been inappropriate. And you can't logically explain it. To try and tell your brain that it's okay because he was getting ice out of the boy's shirt that was not even tucked in with the actions that he did would be you trying to program yourself to be like them, because I guess you get ready to join them. You're on your way. You've already started. You've given it much thought. Your subconscious is telling you want to be there. Something, but you're getting ready to fully join them soon. You have chosen your side. If you're gonna continue to debate any of this stuff, the speculation, the hoping and wishing like we're children, that it hopefully it's not this one, it's not that one. If you are getting fame, status, luxuries, and things like that from Satan, these are the requirements. That is all of your celebrities. No matter how they try to fool you and act like they with you. They outraged about something. They speaking out about something or whatever. It is the price to pay. How many people have to come forth and tell you that y'all were giving Cat all the praise, but now it's like he never said a word? And he's no exception. It just does not work that way. It doesn't work that way. You can't tell me that you have a true faith with your creator, and you study and you read and you have a connection, you have a relationship with your creator, and you believe that you can serve two gods, because there is only one. There's no in between. It doesn't work that way. The price to pay is heavy for them. They sacrifice, they recruit, and they absolutely must harvest. Now, those of us who aren't of that, we're not affiliated, and you don't want to be, because I think a lot of you want to be. For whatever reason, you want to be. You just haven't had the opportunity. You haven't been selected. It's usually the ones who don't want to be that they try to recruit a lot of the times. And that's a fight like what you would never understand. Fight for your right to say no. But I think some of you do want to be, because you want to experience what you think that that's like. You want to experience not having to, quote unquote, worry. No matter what we see any of them go through. Robin Williams. We are constantly looking at things and trying to judge it from a logic that is just so flat earthly and humankind, when this is so spiritual. There are entities and beings and deities and all types of aliens involved, while your president is proclaiming to not like aliens. That's weird, because I mean, let's be real. How many aliens are there to the Americas where we live, including his wife? And to me, it doesn't even make logical sense. It was overwhelming and extreme the way that the Obama administration let them in. That was trauma for us. That was trauma for us. And likely, I don't know. I can't say it was trauma for them because they were trying to get away from something and it happens for them. So, and they were given a lot, right? We should have known then. Well, y'all should have known that was the setup. The biggest setup is for you to keep believing that there are sides with them. There is no side that is for you or yours. They're not here to serve you, to do good by you. That's not their purpose. We have more than enough information to tell us that. And it's people still, this man, from what we understand, deleting his daughter because he is for Trump and she isn't. What kind of energy is that? When you guys fight with your family members, when you argue online and you say the most heinous things to each other, you tell people they should not be allowed to further live because of who they voted for. When you cut off friendships and stuff because you are both are trying to argue a side of the party, you're not in reality. It's weird to me. It's weird. It's weird. Those parties are not for you. Look around. There is no one party that's gonna do right. We gotta stop. That's just like we're still believing there's a Santa. He's gonna come down the chimney, even if you don't even have a chimney. You still believe in that. Tooth fairy, all that stuff. It's that silly. We should be clear, more than clear by now. That's not. These people don't get into power and make these sacrifices so that they can help us. Because we are the prey. We are the targets. We are the victims. We are commodities to them. We are of use. And let's get to the children. Let's get to the children. I'm disappointed in adults, or so-called adults. I really am. Not that I don't understand apprehension, not that I don't understand fear, not that I don't understand conditioning. But at some point along the way, you had the responsibility of saying time and time again, I got to stop giving into this. I got to stop giving into this. I got to stop giving into this. And you just gave in more. Yes, they're using tactics that are many and are very strong. That's what they do. While you're still over here thinking and hoping and praying that something's going to get better because they're going to choose to do better by you at some point. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. Yet, and you're turning against each other over the pettiest stuff. It's weird to watch. It's weird because we are all prey. We are all prey. Even if you do temporary work for them. We see this every day. We see this time and time again. We see this every day. Jesse Jackson just passed. You can be where you want to be about something, but I don't have any interest in arguing or debating anything, because I know where I'm at. And we know what he was about and who he worked for. And he fulfilled his contract very well because they honored him, and even in his passing, they give him praise. Now, that is one rare occasion where they were very proud of their pet. Yet, a lot of people want to give him grace. Information is out there. A lot of us choose not to seek it or open yourself so that it can be shown to you. Or you see it, hear it, read it, and you ignore it. Again, you're still giving in to something that does not exist. The reality that you desire does not exist and is not going to exist. The reality is, this is where we are. Everything that you guys keep saying you don't want to do, the only other option is for us to suffer on levels that truly our minds cannot really imagine. You know why? Because a lot of you still don't want to believe that this is the levels of evil that we're dealing with. You want those files. I get it. They're not going to give you all those files. At the beginning of this video, I read something to you that you should study like you would with your Bible verses. Study like you would with your school work. And try and understand what that means and contextualize it. It is warfare in many forms. Psychological and spiritual warfare at the forefront. And these people have been worshiping and obeying and doing works for something that is the opposite of the one who created us. How can that ever work out for us? It's not possible. They feed off of our children. They harvest our children. They grow stronger off of us. We willingly give them our energy. But their ultimate powers and what literally fuels them to continue to go on is our children. It has to be the children. Because it is the children. And we know this. And instead of trying to have hopes, wishes, dreams, fantasies that you're going to find some humans that care in that trash pile over there.
The real question isn't about...
You should be trying to figure out what's going on. Not from them, because listen, as long as you keep asking, you just gonna keep asking. Who are you? Who cares what you want and why you want it? Even when you get it, in their minds, you ain't gonna do nothing about it still, but we're not gonna give you that because this is psychological warfare, right? But they're not gonna give it. And it's too many people sitting and waiting for the files to be given. And then you say to yourself, okay, when I get it and I see it, it's go time. No, it's not. No, it's not. You've seen enough. You know enough. You know enough. And one thing I can tell you is that they allow you to continue to find out stuff and to see stuff, because that is part of the plan. That is part of this spiritual warfare. They go TikTok trying to shut me down. Hold on. Everything is a war on us. Everything is done for a reason, to achieve their goals, always. TikTok is the deepest app to me of them all. You can scroll TikTok all day long, and you can just be filled with things that they can be very overwhelming, because you first have to be like, wait, how do I get my brain to even begin to process this and accept that this is actually what it is? Yet we are constantly fed all types of stuff. Even if it's a recycle of some things that we knew, or, diving deeper into things that we knew or speculated. And we know that all of this is a lie. The things that we were taught and told, it was structured on none of this is by accident. None of this reality that we've experienced our entire lives is by accident. I saw a mother say she got a permission slip. What's the name? Just this week from Life Touch. They're going to come to the school and do pictures. And she was just flabbergasted, like, no. And we know back then, even if you didn't sign for pictures, that you're going to pay for pictures, they take your pictures anyway. The audacity, right? Well, we shouldn't even be saying that. We should not be saying that. We should expect them to have no holds bars. Parents know that they don't have no business sending their children to those schools anyway. But y'all aren't ready for that conversation. And that to me is on another level. Even with throughout the years, all of the stories that have come out, true stories about teachers messing with students, even the women teachers, right? It's super common. We know that our child is not safe outside of our eyesight, and a lot of times in your eyesight. Yet that it's just never been a motivator enough. It's wild. All the children that go missing. Remember the Atlanta murders, and they want to blame this one, blame that one. At the end of the day, regardless of who you blame, these children come up missing in droves all the time. Children are harvested all the time. I don't know if you guys heard of or remember the story of the couple here recently. I believe it was last year. Had a baby here in Atlanta, and a doctor who's been doing this for years decapitated the baby, while trying to pull the baby out the womb. And they propped the head on the baby, put it in the nursery, let him see the baby, took the baby, wrapped the baby up, sent it to the morgue. And the morgue said, you know, your child's been, your child. And that's how they found out. One thing I can assure you is that these doctors do know that that is definitely a possibility. That is definitely what they train for when they learn how to deliver children. There is a point to where you better stop, because this is about to happen. If you're not a doctor, you may think in your simpleton mind, because y'all be so simple, y'all be so quick to give grace and leniency to this evil. These people are harvesting your children and torturing your children. They're eating the children. Steve-O, and I didn't know this. He did this a long time. I just found this out yesterday on TikTok. Got a tattoo of him and a baby. And I don't need to say the rest. You can look it up yourself. It's plain as day on here. And it's a tattoo on his body. Who would be bold enough on this earth that we walk on? We go to sleep, we wake up every day on this earth. Who would ever be bold enough to do that? And it is vivid, plain as day. There's no doubt in your mind of what. Even got the tears coming out the baby's eyes. It is a prerequisite. It's a qualifier. You can't get in without it. You must participate. You become of that. And it is their job to deceive you, persuade you, and do all of the things that gives what they worship the praise and the energy for the evil, and us falling for the BS is just giving them more and more power. But we cannot just offer up the children. We can't do that. It's never going to be okay for us. People are very, very selfish, very self-absorbed, and very selfish. Not quite sure how it got this bad, but I guess that's their doing, and you allowing it over time. But people are very selfish. When you get to talking and worrying about what could happen if you try to do this and do that, we know. I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen to me every single day when I say no, and my answer don't change, and it happens. If I could tell you just a few things that I'm currently going through right now, and give you a list. I can take all of my fingers and just give you 10 things that I've been through because of my resistance. You would be very, very shocked. It's what it is. Because it ain't gonna go no other way because they want their way. That's it. That's all. That's it. But I just don't understand how people can sit here and be concerned about what they, man, or whatever it is. Whatever it is. Because I don't want you to mistake that this is all humans, and it's a mixture of a lot of stuff. Y'all been on TikTok University long enough to know that we are living amongst a lot of things that we didn't know about. They have had the advantage of being far up on us a long time ago, and they have been steps and steps ahead of us. They know exactly what they want to do, exactly what they have been doing. And none of that is going to change because somebody's supposed to feel a way about you. They don't care about the children. How can they care about you? Your food isn't real. How can they care about you? That's the biggest threat against your very existence that you should take and be done with. All the times that I've said over and over again that y'all should be, this should have been it right here. I mean, I'm talking back when they said everybody had to get health care. Like, what? What's your... I'm like, dang. Everybody just gonna let that happen? Like, who are you to tell us we have to have health care? It's not car insurance. Or there's gonna be a fee. I mean, it's just one thing after another, and everybody's just letting this stuff. People of the past, they didn't get down like that. Which is another reason why they want to take away history. It does have some to do with the evils that happen to our people, because as you can see in my last post, when they pulled up the 95 bodies of I'm just gonna say our people, because that man said black, then he said African American in the same video, because they just been renaming us, right? For a reason. But from the sugar imperial or whatever it was, that they took them as prisoners, and I'm sure wrongfully incarcerated, right? Forced them to go work there from sun up to sundown until they pass out and pass away. Those of us who are abreast of our history knows that that is absolutely the way it went as a norm. And this is after slavery. This is during Jim Crow. To require that of someone who has organs that need to function just like yours. They have blood circulating through their veins. They have to have nutrients or they won't be able to survive. I see people care so much more about animals, especially dogs, than the treatment our people got. And I would never sit well with where our people are sitting with this right now. I shake my head every second of every day on it. It behooves me. I cannot begin to comprehend, and I'm not trying to, why we just it's completely inexcusable. There is nothing nobody can say even though people do all day, every day. That's the craziest part, because we gave all that energy to them. We give that energy to them every single day. We let people get away with not only what they did to us, but what they are doing to us. That's insane to me. That is beyond insane. Now that's a personal issue amongst our people, right? But as a whole, we have an issue, and it's collective. And when people want to argue about anything, show can't argue about race. Show can't argue about politics. There should be no arguing, because we are the targets. Everything that you thinking that you have an issue with somebody about, when it's concerning politics, when it's concerning so-called race, that shit is not even real. It's not even real. It doesn't make any sense. You let them program you to be like that, and that is exactly what they wanted. But it's insane, and you gotta stop and think about it. I know they got you. I know they do. They're literally poisoning everything, altering everything that enables you to function as you should. So it makes sense that everybody's malfunctioning left and right. You know what doesn't make sense to me? A lot of us still are who we are on the inside. And if you are, then you know what that is. And we should be able to understand that we have no idea what's ticking around here. When y'all see people do stuff, you think that it's always that person did that. I've been telling y'all this for years and years and years. They controlling from all kind of angles. They got the game sold up on this, on all of this. They flip switches on people, and y'all watch it and you say, "Oh yeah, he was tripping. Oh yeah, she went crazy and all that." You actually don't know what happened. And you know what? If somebody did flip and go crazy, it's not possible for us to be sane and stable in this existence. It's chaotic. It's our bodies cannot, our minds, our soul, our spirit, everything's off. They have denied us everything that we possibly need to remain functionable as we were created. I don't know what each individual is, but if you're thriving in this environment and what you consume, then either your body has adjusted to it, or you're not what you think you are. We are not supposed to be okay, because we are not okay every single day. And we don't deserve none of this. We don't deserve none of this. We complain all day, every day about how this economy is going, how everything is going, and things that they're doing. We always complain about what they're doing. Always complain about. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's enough, because you're just continuously giving them energy when you keep complaining. complaining. Yeah, we know. And it's crazy. It's crazy that we keep allowing them to just do thing after thing after thing after thing. When I see a post about the food, people in the comment section, what can I eat now? Your mind immediately goes to helpless about things that we saw coming a long time ago. You see things, you ignore it, and you just hope that it's for the better good, or the intentions are not that bad, or it's gonna change or something like that. And each one of these little things just add up to be, it's part of their plan, part of their goal. It's always been war with them. Not with us. We don't believe we're at war, even now, which is weird. It's weird. Because when Malcolm and people like that when they talk about you have to get rid of the traitorous ones first, that is definitely so. hmm And one of the examples is this Jordan thing. Y'all can spend all day, spend your time, whatever. Think to yourself, talk amongst each other, pray to God. I don't know what you do. And you can try to figure out if, he really didn't do that, and blah, 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 or whatever. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Take your time with it. Waste your time with it. The fact that you even pondering over it or unsure is part of what also gives them energy. And that energy helps them move forward in the things that they do. The ones that come on here and are doing these videos and stuff, and they are in the comment section in droves saying that was ice, that was somebody said it was AI. If you're giving some kind of excuse or explanation to what you believe that he could have been doing that for, then we should have zero tolerance for that. Because at the end of the day, those of us who are still here, and you know what I'm talking about. You're here. Inside of you, you are here. You know what you saw was not right. I don't care what anybody says he was trying to do. That should not have happened. That's it. That is it. Even if he was trying to get ice, which doesn't make any logical sense. But they also have people who work for them who will come in droves and say that so that you can also be convinced of it too. They've been doing that for the longest. And it'll work on a lot of people because a lot of people don't really want to believe that he could have been doing anything else. They just don't want the reality of things to keep, they don't want it to keep getting worse and worse. Or maybe they really like the dude and blah, blah, blah. And then someone pulled up old footage of him with the pads on the children. I remember that. So that is definitely real. It's really easy for people to say stuff as AI, but no, that was really real. He did have a habit of doing that, and we can't excuse that either. If the men want to pat each other butts in sports, let the men do it. That's on them. We don't. I think it's weird, but people have accepted it as it's sports. I mean, if you think about it, it's actually not. It's something else. You just accepted it as that's what they do in sports. Come on now, patting each other on the butt. Okay, but you can't have it. Holding on to stuff like that, that's a part of the problem. You can't do that with a child. I don't care if they bouncing a ball with you. You can't. We don't pat other people's children on the butt, and we sure don't do that thing that he did that we saw. There's no. I don't care about the ice that didn't exist. Even trying to excuse the rub on the leg. See, to me, there's no difference in that than story after story after story of someone who told someone they did this to me, and that person ignores it or tell them no they didn't, or say don't talk about it no more, and they do nothing, and you're still around that person and it's likely still happening. This is traumatized everyone so much because it's happened to so many people, and that's the response that they get, a massive programming. But this is one massive action that it should be isolated, in my opinion, and highlighted. It cannot be ignored. That is a sick and sinister act to violate a person at any rate. But this thing with children, just because man has convinced themselves that it's okay, or they're entitled to it, or it's okay for them to have these desires and to fulfill those desires, is nothing but satanic. Them continuously letting offenders out should have never been acceptable in our society. And a lot of you will want them out because you're emotionally connected to that person. You have an emotional feel that that person would change or could change, or you don't want to see them behind bars for the rest of their life, or even worse. Because we came from a time where people would handle things in a whole different way. Some of y'all say you don't want the states. They don't always. I'm not trying to argue it. I'm just saying I think a lot of that is from actual weakness. Actual weakness. The violation of a child is something that we as a people should have never tolerated. That should have been made clear and just emphasized constantly. We're not having it. We're not having it. And see, the corruption of so-called man is the problem. That's the problem. And you have to gut it out and get rid of it. It's like mold. You can't keep the wood that has the mold. It doesn't work that way. It all has to be destroyed. All of it. All of it. And it is all of them. I don't care if it's a relative of yours. That's professional something in Hollywood and in politics, and there is no entrance. There is no entrance without it. But I thought Cat was y'all dude. Then Cat told y'all this. Yet you still think that he. Great deception. Great deception. Um, these people do have levels, you know, but nobody's exempt. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I know Cat adopted some children, and we ain't never seen them children. Just a thought. And he do good work. He do good work for whom he serves. Everybody likes him. They think he's a truth teller. You never see those children, and he's thriving. He's got fame, popularity, and he got the paper. The creator didn't get it to him. Mm-mm. He's of that world. All of them are. All of them are. Some adults to this day still say stuff, and I think it's the younger generation, you know, like would be my children's ages, like people in their 20s and 30s saying stuff like, we need more doctors and lawyers and this and that. If your child could handle being there, if you can imagine them handling that, and if you support that all the way and encourage that, push for that, you must consider what's going to come with that. People want their children to be successful because that's what you're taught in America. That is the pride of your whole life, to have children that are smart, educated, which we know what smart really means, but etymology matters, I'm just saying. But you want intelligent and successful children. That's what you want. Wanting the wrong things. Because the kind of success you imagine, it demands that they become one of those. It's not possible any other way. It's not. It's not. With any person that's being revealed to us, and people are saying, oh my gosh, them too, oh my gosh, them too. What about the memes you guys are posting that says it is all of them? What about that? Only some of you are taking it in? You're hoping that you guys were super, super divided with Kamala and Trump. Wasted energy. You're just giving it to them. The plans would not change regardless of which one you vote for. The plans will not change. They haven't changed. Open your eyes. They haven't changed. All of the things that are happening now, and people are saying, how can they get away with this? I can't believe this. What you mean? There was a working up to this. And you know, we got to shout out the people who was screaming Project 2025 because they tried. They tried. And I ain't gonna say I read it all because I failed in that department. I did because I didn't. Because I was still way too naive. Way too naive. I don't know what kind of it had to be in spell because that's how I have to call it. I can't even be lightweight with that. I can't. Because I cannot make an excuse for myself knowing who I am and knowing all that I know and still sitting up here believing that somebody who we elect in air is going to have any of our best interests at heart. Like, I don't really get into the personal stuff. I feel people energy. I see them, but all that, I don't like this person. I don't like. It's not about liking them, so I don't do all that. I just didn't do enough research into it. Didn't believe that this dude really was going to mess us up like this. Didn't really thought that he had the best interests of the U.S. at heart. And when you can plainly see that you're that idiot, right? Then you have to ask yourself, okay, what could it possibly be? What are some of the things that I know I can see and understand that got me there? So I can work against that. Because there's no way I should have been looking at any of them like that at all. I didn't vote for him, but I was in the same trap as y'all because I'm saying he's a better opponent than her. Logically, he's a better opponent than her, and that doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. It just doesn't. And to even believe that this dude didn't have nothing to do with Project 2025. Because he said so. He said so. He said so. So we understand that we literally were lied to about that. We understand that where we are right now, we have never been before. This place, America, is in the same position that our people were in throughout slavery and Jim Crow. Same position. You just don't see it. Like, we all are in that position. We're literally in that position. And you are concerned about something. I don't understand it because, again, the forefathers, they fought. But it was something that people were accustomed to doing then. The post from the guy, and I'm gonna play that before I get off here. He was saying, I believe it was him that said that. Like, we're so spoiled because we really act like or talk like we are capable of fighting something. And to hear him speak, I don't like his speech, but it's good that he made the speech. That makes sense. Because you would say that is so logical what he's saying. I don't care about none of that. That's not even how we should be talking right now. We don't need to hear none of that so-called logic. We have been conditioned since they got started with whatever master plan they came up with to create whatever they doing. And for people to not understand that this is so spiritual, I heard some people say they give you the poisonous food and they eat the real food. Well, Jews do have kosher, that I give them that. But you don't know what these people eat besides children. And if they eat children, you think food is something? You think they're worried about food? You think they got real gardens in the back of the White House or something? Or anywhere else? You're not gonna go to no celebrity house and find no garden. Where do you think they get food shit from? Y'all act like Soylent Green isn't people. I mean, we can't keep doing this, y'all. We really, really can't. To foretell to you the things that they're gonna do to you through movies and Simpsons and all that, and then do it years later in your face. You let these people become your God. They replaced your Bible. Whatever Bible you read, whatever name you call, whatever you believe, clearly they've replaced it on all fronts. I don't care who, what religion, what practice, what you call your God, your creator. Y'all have replaced all that with these, whatever. It was written. It was written. They write it out. They show it to you, and they carried it out, and you're experiencing it. You're the target, and you just letting it happen. And then you say, "Oh yeah," because that movie was real life. That was showing us what they were going to do to us. The Simpsons predicted this. That's you acknowledging that your God's prophecies were true. And you acknowledging the power of them, and you give into that power. Because you accept whatever that is, and you just keep it moving. Y'all gotta be crazy. I will drop kick it, single-handedly drop kick every last one of y'all, because I'm just so over it already. This ain't it. This ain't it. And one thing we're not gonna do, and it is let them keep doing what they doing with these children, and that's their main source of energy. That is their number one. That's their number one. So you know what? There is only one option. There's only one option. Everything that your mind can't even imagine, because it's just that. That's all we have. We allowed it to get this bad. We didn't have to, but we did. We didn't fight enough. We didn't fight against none of this. Step by step by step, we didn't fight it. We fought amongst each other over it, and they still did what they wanted to do, and it still don't benefit us none. Even if you think a decision benefits you, a lot of you guys say in your religion, in your beliefs, that being here is temporary. So within those decisions that you fighting people over, abortion laws or just anything, taxes, anything, shit that we ain't supposed to be paying anyway, it's temporary. So you want the temporary gifts, the temporary pleasure as you see it? Mm. These people are not the creators, but they have managed to turn this existence into something that they control pretty doggone good. And if I okay, let's say we're going off the story of Jesus, right? I think people, I don't know why my thing is twisting like that. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Nope, it's weird. It won't twist right. Stay there. Hmm. So everybody believes Jesus, he died for our sins, and he destroyed this place before. He said he'll do it again. He's coming back. I don't know why people think that that means that somebody's coming to save us, because that's the narrative that I've been hearing collectively for years. It does not mean that. Duh, dodo bird. If that's the case, you would have been saved. How you? Okay, not that I don't mean to get y'all all riled up, but I'm not gonna fight you or debate you over anything. You know what I mean? So you can get mad if you want to. But how are you gonna sit up here and believe that someone, they love you so much, right? And they died for your sins. This is why y'all didn't want to explain nothing to us when we was little. You just read the scripture, give a verse, tells us to shut up. I literally went to Christian and Catholic schools on top of being in church all the time. And they didn't try to translate or break down no kind of Bible to us in no way. And to me, religion is programming. You're supposed to have your own understanding. You're responsible for having your own understanding. But you can help and teach what you're supposed to. People how to gain that, how to get that, how to find that. Lead them in the right direction. But people use religion over the years to manipulate with lies and control. It's crazy. And you got all these priests and everything been doing what they've been doing since the beginning of time. And y'all believe Jesus died for your sins. Okay. To hear people translate what that means, to me, is comical and pathetic. Because people say, that means you are forgiven for your sins. Some people go a little further and say, it's conditional. Okay, am I forgiven? I'm not forgiven. Like, I'm not understanding. So I'm forgiven, but it's a possibility that I won't be forgiven if I don't do certain things. Not here to offend nobody. If you get offended, that's on you. I'm just trying to be nice and sensitive, right? Because I know people get all up in theirs. But who is you? You know, think about that for a second. Y'all be debating each other, fighting each other, and all kind of stuff over some stuff. Like, you know some shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, aren't we all just guessing? Aren't we all students? I mean, unless you God, then go ahead, you got it. But either way, you consistently stayed confusing on the Jesus God thing, and I do believe that's on purpose. Even to this day, I have yet to hear a person clearly and properly and formally explain it. And when people know they're not explaining it, they just feel confident in the fact that, well, you supposed to know what I'm talking about. Like, you're not saying that, but you're saying that. No, because you don't even know what you're talking about. You're not even making any sense. And look around you. Look at where we are. We believed everything we was told about everything. Everything we was taught, everything we were told. And you're supposed to find yourself within and find your creator so you can find the right answers and the right guidance. Because at minimum, we need the guidance. Because you're still holding on to so many things that was given to you when you know all of this is to manipulate you, to bamboozle you, to keep you confused, all of it, and you ain't let go of none of it. But you're choosing to do your own thing, and it's just chaos all over the place. And it is. It really is. If I was Jesus, I think now's pretty much a good time. I think it is. Yeah. Come on, shut this whole thing down. But if I were to guess, I'm thinking he's waiting on you. What else could it be? What else can it be? People really do believe in their head that ultimately Jesus is going to come and save people from all of the bad things. That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Even if you've read and studied every scripture, I don't care if it's the Bhagavad Gita, whatever it just doesn't make any sense. Yet people resting in that in this day and time with all this going on, you're resting in believing that, oh, when Jesus come back, he gonna make it better and see that you're one of the good guys and you're gonna get a chance to go to heaven. Is that how we're doing it? Is that how it's gonna go? You're gonna destroy the world, destroy all the bad guys. This is a lot of bad guys. It's a lot of bad guys. But y'all ain't gotta do none of that other stuff they did in the Bible, right? You ain't gotta fight nothing, right? Cause you scared. Because this is your God, right? We know it's your parents. It's your real parents. I mean, they got paper on you and everything. The numbers, your social security number, all that. Y'all got to start trying to get discernment and understand why for a lot of stuff. The day-to-day life being hard and all that, that's on purpose. So you won't even have time for that, for nothing. We know this. So we got to use the knowledge, what we have. Application of knowledge is power. We know stuff and we don't do anything with it. We know that is created. You know, economy is crazy and it's never going to be halfway decent again. We know this. And yet you sit. Everything you know, and yet you sit. None of that shit you put in your mouth and you put in your family's mouth got nothing to do with what your body is supposed to need as a human. And you know that the reason why you are partaking, right, It's for the nourishment, literally, so your body can get the things that it needs to function as it should. That's why the herbs all have a function, have a purpose for all of our bodies, the way our body works. I have a crazy herb collection, and all of it straight natural. If we never planted a seed, it all grew anyway because it was for us. And it all is to aid in and nourish all of every part of our body, every part of our body. And that is why we eat. So we're not getting that from anything because they took all that away. And we know that they also put chemicals and plastics and people in it. And we still eat, we still do food reviews, we still do all of that. And yeah, people think you gotta eat. Careful with those thoughts, because if you think that you're nourishing your body, okay, that's what you're doing. Then you're altering your body to become something else. And at this point, do you even know what you are? It's not possible for you to think that you are remotely what you were when the creator thought of you. Because you were thought of before you was even born, before you was even in the womb. Yeah, it's impossible. Chemicals in the sky, chemicals in the water, chemicals in everything. They have found ways left and right. Y'all come out with stuff on TikTok every single day to just flourish your body with stuff that is supposed to make your mouth function and not be what it is. So there is nothing human operating in you in a way a human should operate. And yes, for money, control, power, and all that, it's still deeper than that though. It's still spiritual. That is dark magic. It's like that's the same thing as if you were to go and get you a pot of witch's brew and do some cuckoo maka hoodoo on somebody and cast a spell. You casting a spell. However that spell, however you want to play it out in your mind. We can do the Disney thing. You can be very, very creative in your imagination, right? However that spell goes. They put spells left and right all day, every day to alter to get the results that they want. They even made all these diseases. The blanket with the smallpox, that was nothing. That wasn't nothing. That was light work, lightweight. It's just getting started. Our clothes are poisoning our bodies. Everything. It come at you with every angle. How in the world do you think you're still? The fact that you aren't doing anything should tell you that you don't even know what you are. Because that's not in you and it's not of you. God's children will not settle for this. Will not tolerate this. God's children gets guidance but fights back. The whole prayer without works thing. Every time I hear and see y'all type, you're going to. I'm sorry, I didn't see your because I just tuned out. But thank you for your condolences, Autumn. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not trying to ignore y'all in the chat, but I'm kind of used to nobody being in the chat or typing in the chat, and then I just be when I speak. I'm speaking because I'm told to speak. So I'm literally just doing it. So I'm not really trying to ignore y'all, but. And then I know I'm saying stuff that people don't want to hear and people don't want to talk about. And it's ridiculous because we can't avoid this, y'all. You can't stay in the state of constant trauma, fear, and hoping, because what's the hope for? Look around you. What's the hope? What is the hope for? The hope is for something that you and I both know in our minds, with your logical minds, with the brains that you still have left, because I know they messed the brains up now, that this is not possible. You're comfortable now saying, I don't want to dive that deep. I don't want to see this. I'm traumatized already. It's enough. I'm stressed about these bills. All those things is what they want you to be in. But some of y'all will go to church on Sunday. And God said, and he got me, and fear no man, and don't worry not, because I'm going to take care of you. I don't care if your bills are paid and you got a little money in your pocket every week after that. And you got food. We need to stop calling it food. I don't know what would be a good name for it, but it's not food. You have in your books what food is. There are certain ways that we're told we can eat. And what I practice, we're supposed to eat certain things, and then you have to dedicate it first. And sometimes you have, somebody from the monastery come over, from the temple come over, and they bless it, and then you can eat it. But it's all it is, because it is everything. The water that you drink, everything is to give your body what it needs so you can do what you're supposed to do. Ain't none of this about whatever it is you think you want, because you're not even getting that. You don't even know what you want. Let's be honest. Even if you say, I just want to not be in danger, I want to be safe, I want to be, I don't want to freeze, I don't want to be homeless, I don't want, you're not even supposed to want for that. Did Jesus want for that? When the monks doing the walk, don't they have rules? Because they're being at the core just as humble as they can. And it's not only a demonstration for man, it's a demonstration to the Creator. You worship things that you want them to allot for you. You want them to allow you to continue to have, even if it's a roof over your head. You want them to continue. You give them that power. I ain't gonna be able to pay my bills. Even they'll kill me. Y'all literally say that shit? Nobody in history, none of our people who came to the conclusion that we have to fight, said, no, because they're going to kill us. They didn't do none of that. It goes with it. I see things differently. I envy those who get to leave. I don't know nothing about what's going on after that, but I know what's going on here. And I know that we're still here dealing with it. Okay? So I envy that. People say it's natural to be scared of death. Self-preservation is generally a natural instinct, and we ain't practicing that. So why y'all saying y'all scared of death? That doesn't make any sense to me, because all of this is a slow death that they're turning up they're speeding it up. It's a slow death. We already really have died because it's not possible for us to be who we were thought of to be when our Creator thought of us. Each time that a child is born, it's just so many things that are more corruption for that child coming on here, and nobody is fighting against it enough to do anything about it, to the point where you even let them not only decide what you can do with a child on your own. That's a difficult debate. However, my point is giving them too much power. Y'all go to them to birth your children, almost as if it is law. They just snatched a baby from two parents that had a home birth. Everybody should have been going crazy getting their baby back. They took the baby because they had the baby at home. We weren't never supposed to have our children the way that it's being had, and a lot of women don't make it, especially us. So all the way down to cutting the umbilical cord right away, them exposing the baby to lights, making the baby cry, putting stuff in their eye. They immediately start altering what the Creator made and cut the umbilical cord. That cutting action should tell you right then and there that they are of the opposite, that ain't nothing but the devil. And they don't got nothing good in store for God's creation. And we have been doing this thing since, I don't know, since they start building hospitals and people start going to hospitals and have children. I know people that will somewhat try to be something, even they go to church a lot, and then they go have a baby in a hospital. I'm like, you allowing all of this to occur with something as important as your child being born. You're telling them that they can just, and they've been doing whatever they want to do ever since. Ever since. They already got it mapped out. They gotta have them papers, that ownership, and everything else. And then they take your baby's placenta that your baby didn't even finish getting, and then you could have nourished yourself with it. You could have dehydrated and made little vitamins for your family. That ain't nothing but a little bonus. It's a big bonus, actually. Y'all know how huge it is because you know what they're doing with it. And yet, and still, they cut it and they take it. On top of everything else, it is just, you supposed to know that ain't even right. You supposed to know that you should never allow that to happen. And in my opinion, when we allow that to happen to our child, especially if you put them on formula when you know that shit is crack, when you let your child portal through in that manner, you done already told God that you don't care. So I'm pretty sure the Creator is sitting here looking at everybody like, I'm not surprised. But if you waiting on somebody to come save you, first of all, who gonna say, listen, who gonna save the adults? Like, I wouldn't. For who, you think, I think people are self-absorbed and they really think more of themselves than they should. If you think that God is treasuring you, wanting to come save you, or anything like that. And you don't read all those stories in the Bible, of everything that they went through, trials and tribulations, and the punishments, the disappointments, and all that. And you think don't none of that apply to you. And you think sitting back on your tail, not doing anything because of fear and because of fear, and you're trying to care about yourself when it's like you got a hole in a boat and you're in the sea, and you just I'm gonna stay right here and just shovel this out. I'm gonna shovel this out. I can't let this boat sink. Okay. Okay. And they're gonna keep doing what they're doing, not only to you, but to these children. I end up going here every single time, but apparently it needs to be said, because to me this is the most important thing. It's the biggest red flag, and I just don't get it, because they said, the Bible says, Eve, that girl. One thing we know as women, even if you have never given birth, you should know, you on the inside of you should know your role. You should know your role. And if it's not protected, I don't know what else it could be. You're supposed to protect if don't nobody else protect. And if God told man, here you go, this is yours, and you're over the women and the children, and you are over the earth, you're over the animals and all that, and this is what we see them doing. Either that story's wrong, or we know, we can see what you are, and that's not for us. Because even if I have more in-depth and personal experience with any case, because of being like literally working on the case, that don't mean that y'all don't have enough knowledge about what the heck is going on and been going on, with a lot of people. But it's the children. Forget all that other, we can't even talk about nothing else until we talk about these children. You know enough. You know enough. I don't see how you fucking eat, sleep. It ain't real food anyway. It's not helping your brain. So, to a degree, it's kind of understandable. But we not that slow, y'all. We just not that slow. We not that slow. My battery. We know that war has been raised upon us. We know that it is definitely not going to get any better. That's out the window. Okay, we can do away with that. I think we stop talking like that. But just to be clear, if you're around someone and they say, "Oh, it's gonna get better" and all that, no, we can't even talk like that no more, because that is not a reality. Nothing is just gonna get better. There were times when people used to say that mess, and people were allowed to say the mess, and we may have thought that that was possible. No one is coming to save you, and it's definitely not gonna get better. And we been ran out of time. So what else you got? Because being afraid of something, we don't even know what that is. And you just stuck on I'm afraid. We don't know exactly as a collective. We don't really know what all this is for on their behalf. We don't know their angle or their goals as a collective. We're still like, oh my God, left and right. And there's no assessments really being done, which is crucial. But at the end of the day, we don't even need that to know that all this should have been stopped a long time ago. It should have been fought against a long time ago. I don't even see how y'all can read stuff like David and Goliath and then close that book up and feel good about yourself. I don't see how you can read about anything like that, like how they fought for the amendments in the Constitution. It is a reason. It's several reasons why they like to erase history, but they certainly don't want you to have remembrance of terrible rituals that they've done, like those bodies they found. That is so spiritual and ritualistic. It's not even funny because it's not of us. It's not of God. And in mass like that, I tell people all the time, you have to read Francis Chris Welsing's ISIS papers, and you can even listen to it on YouTube. But you need to understand what this woman is saying. As far as here, that's Bible for me. Bible means book, but that is the blueprint right there. And you wanting it to be any different is not gonna make it different. And you should be able to look around and tell everything that she's teaching is true. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do to change what they are. Nothing. You should be trying to figure out what it is in you that's making you be so forgiving and have this heart, if that's what you want to call it, but have sympathy, have feelings for evil. When we look at Nakaya's case, I'm so over it, y'all. There is no freaking way it should have been a lot tougher than that for them to even consider something like that. Her family, the courts, all of it. But these are workers for Satan. Those are workers for the devil, for evil. And they let them back out so they can do it again. And when they keep letting them out, they eventually take a child's life. It happens every single time. And they're never nobody, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's somebody you love. I don't care. Because if you love them more than you love that child that you're supposed to protect, and that you love your creator, who you're supposed to honor by doing your duty. We do want things. We do want protections. We do want for a lot of things to stop. We want life to not be so difficult as they have purposefully made it. We want a lot of things, but we don't deserve none of that because we let these people run rampant. These entities, I like to say entities because it's a combination of some shit. We let them run rampant without even trying. And you stay at each other like it makes sense. It don't make no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. That shit is pointless except for to continue to keep people weak and to give them their power so they can continue doing what they're doing. Then the next person don't have more power, authority, capabilities over you than the people who are after us do. If anything, they're gonna use them to tie you up, to distract you, to make you now you upset about whatever y'all got going on. But at the end of the day, it's a person just like you. What you gonna do? They gonna hurt you? Okay, defend yourself. Okay, what you gotta do? Use a weapon. Use something spiritual. I don't know. This is a freaking war of all kinds, and it's definitely a spiritual war. Just because you don't want to use what you need to use doesn't mean that they're not using. Boy, they're eating your babies. They're being sexual with them in ways that probably some of us adults wouldn't want to participate in. And then they torture. They drink blood and they eat the flesh. Just like you're told to do in the Bible. They're doing that religiously. That's just some of their sick rituals that they do. They know so much about so much, and they use it against you all the time. There's nothing without meaning. There's no way. Somebody said that our social security numbers tells what state you were born in. I think they mean something, but not that. And I'm talking about something more than just this ties you to. I'm talking about more than just financially. I'm talking about spiritually. The numbers mean something. Because I'm gonna tell you for sure, my birth certificate don't say North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina. My birth certificate don't say North Carolina. So we can throw that out right there. But the point is, none of this shit is a coincidence. They know the histories they continue to erase. Just like they've been erasing them, they're trying to erase the history that we know. And the ones that we're discovering. They've been erasing history so they can switch it around, throw this out, throw that out, move this around, and all that kind of stuff. It matters to them. It empowers them. And y'all will condemn pretty much everything. But you still don't know what you're supposed to be doing because ain't nobody doing it. The talking and revealing stuff on TikTok, it actually isn't impressive. It's just another stage that people have entered into. Yeah. That's another stage where y'all just gonna keep bringing out stuff, revealing stuff, talking about stuff, and okay. The same way you keep saying, where are the files? Release the files. I guarantee you, they all laugh every time you say it. Even the celebrities that may speak out, I ain't never heard. I haven't heard no celebrity speak out about that. I could be wrong, but it's not real. I guarantee you, they laugh every time you say release those files. Not that you shouldn't want to know what's on it. It's like Corey telling Anton, say it again. Say it again. Like he said, I already said it. You don't need to hear it again. You know what it is. You know more than enough. You know what it is, then you know more than enough. They tell you what they want to tell you. It's so much more powerful for them to keep some of the files from you, so you can keep saying, "Give me the files," and so that a lot of people can actually not even get their brain. I drive trucks, right? And so there's a time that we taught, from the time you see that you're gonna need to stop. You see it now. Your brain has to compute that. Then your brain has to tell you to actually press the brakes, and then all the time that it's going to take for you to stop that basically train on the road. And all of that is important. It has to come into account while you're out here driving. That's why y'all shouldn't get in front of trucks, okay? But people want to stay in that state of not allowing themselves mentally to get where they actually need to be, because you just want to be stuck on, I need to see the rest of the files because I need to know who was all on there and all of that. I don't think y'all can handle knowing who's all on there. And it's literally everyone. So what does that tell you? And I really, you're going to be boohooing over that for years and years. Like, it's like I don't know, it feels like a crybaby stage, because everybody's like, oh, they're so horrible. These people are terrible. What they're doing some terrible stuff. They're all terrible. Bro, when you wake up and stop acting like a child, this is freaking serious. And everybody's good until they're not. Okay, so since I'm about to go, I'm gonna play what this guy said real quick.
Hardy, it's about consistency. If political radicalization is worth investigating in one community, then it's worth investigating in all of them. If religious extremism is a fair topic in one case, then it's fair in every case. If violence demands accountability, that standard shouldn't depend upon skin color or ideology. Because
okay, so that was the dude talking about the man who shot his daughter because they disagreed about Trump. And see, he knows he's in Texas, because like here in Georgia, I wish a motherfucker would, right? Texas is even more so. You mess with somebody in Texas, that's not a good idea, because they likely will blow you away. They likely will blow you away. So if he did have an argument with her about Trump and decided to shoot her, he still had the possibility of being found harmless the same way he was already in court, because of the laws. You don't have to retreat in Texas, you know. But we know that's not the reality of this situation, really, because The family was there and they told what happened. They just chose to let him go. He looks white. He's from, where's he from?
Shouldn't shift based on.
Let me find the other one where he's talking. I forgot where he's from. Oh, I see 3 videos.
It's my daughter. Okay. And we were getting ready to go to the airport and we were talking about guns. And she said, "You got a gun?" I said, "Yes." I got it out and it just went off as she stood there. Like, as I pulled it out, it went off.
This is the moment an alcoholic dad.
If I pull my gun out and it goes off, it's because I had my finger on the trigger. It's because I had my finger on the trigger. That's the way it goes off. He's telling this to a police officer. It just went off.
Admitted to shooting his daughter at his Texas home. Lucy Harrison, who was 23, was fatally shot in the chest at her father's house in Prosper, Texas on January the 10th, 2025. Cheshire Coroner's Court heard that Manchester Metropolitan University graduate Lucy was taken by Chris Harrison into a bedroom before he was due to drive her to the airport. Chris Harrison, who had been drinking alcohol that day, showed Lucy his gun, where he claimed it went off as he removed it from its box. The court concluded Lucy's death was an unlawful killing on the grounds of gross negligence manslaughter. A grand jury in Texas found no one would be prosecuted over her death. Follow for more. Okay.
He doesn't really seem, shook or anything, really. So they will choose to say it's gross negligence when they know that who are they gonna find to come in and testify and say, yeah, this gun just went off? Nobody. It's weird. Even there's another video of him talking.
No, so she was just about to go to the airport.
Who is she to y'all?
That's our daughter. It's my daughter.
Okay. Our daughter.
And we were getting ready to go to the airport and we were talking about guns. And she said, "You got a gun?" I said, "Yes." I got it out and it just went off as she stood there. Like, as I pulled it out, it went off.
Okay.
It must have been, obviously.
Did you put the gun on the bed?
I put it on the bed straight away, yeah.
Where was it at?
It was in the bedside cabinet.
Okay, yeah, like a little, you just keep it in there.
In a locked box.
Okay.
And we took it out to look, and just as I picked it up, it went off.
Okay.
So there's a lady in the back saying lockbox, and I'm assuming that is the girl's mother because he said that's our daughter, and he pointed towards somebody. So it had to be the mom standing there, and they just is calm. She's not screaming. She's not attacking him. She's not screaming because her baby is gone. There's no noises that we're hearing from the back. She said, "Lockbox." Okay, so the guy that I was talking about earlier, this is what he said.
When y'all go on and on about how you can't wait for the collapse of this country and how you can't wait for the revolution and the Civil War and all this other shit, and people be saying this on both sides of the political spectrum, it just shows how sheltered we are as a nation and how most of y'all don't study civil wars in other countries. Even though I know historically every great dynasty goes through it, I pray that I am not alive to see this country go through a civil war. Okay. Another one.
I gotta pause. So when he talked about people not studying and understanding how these wars go, I do think that is the majority of people. And I get what he's saying, because he's not wrong. I think a lot of people have a fantasy of how that would go versus the reality. He's going to be a little more descriptive of what that may look like. And it's pretty accurate. But I think that's the problem, though. A lot of people don't understand the reality. And they're still afraid, or they just want it to happen. They don't think that something has to be done to make it happen. And proof is that what he said, they don't study because it's not going to just happen. And guess what? Jesus ain't going to come back and do it either. I mean, he's not. He's really not.
When it comes to Americans, we talk from a very privileged place when it comes to wars because we have not had a boots on the ground war fought on our soil since the Civil War. And if we ever did have a Civil War, it would probably mimic that of Yugoslavia.
Okay, before he get into it, because he get ready to go in. That's the problem. That's the problem. I would love to sit here and say that. I'm pretty sure, the others that fought before us, they didn't want to be the ones to do it. But I honestly don't believe that was the case for the majority. They was just a different kind of breed. They come from that. They know that it's in their bloods. They train for that for the most part. They know to be ready for that. They know from day one. If shit start to go left, then it's we gonna have to get it back right, or we gonna have to tear this motherfucker down. We're gonna have to get you up out of there, one way or the other. Trump with it. The people aren't pleased. This ain't okay. Oh, you out of order? Oh no, you got to go. You got to go. You're certainly not gonna violate our rights. None of that. So they was just cut from a different kind of cloth. So I think you had the majority of them like on some I wish a motherfucker would type. And you had to be like that, so you can let them know we will get down if we have to. And they were already together. They just came from fighting to get free from over here. So then they gotta make this contract for the U.S. And they like, I'm like, okay, we gonna fight. We gotta fight. Okay, we gonna fight. Okay, what you got? I don't like that amendment. You ain't budging. And you ain't changing our shit. Y'all ain't changing our shit. Okay, we gonna fight. Okay, we'll fight. Let's fight for years. And it's not pretty. Nobody's safe. Especially we are vulnerable because we're divided. We are more vulnerable than anybody could have ever been in any type of consideration of, hey, we don't like this. You aren't stopping, so we gotta stop you because that's our job. That's what we gotta do. God is not gonna interfere and make them stop. Jesus is not gonna swoop in real quick and be like, okay, I'm back, but I'm not back. I'm just gonna handle them for you real quick, and then I'm gonna go back and see what y'all gonna do with it. Try again. Y'all know better than that. You know better than that.
Libya, or Libya. You would have a left spectrum and a right spectrum. And on both sides of those spectrums, not only would they be fighting left versus right, but there would be so much infighting within groups on the same side of the political spectrum that you would have all these different mini militias. And also,
I get what he's saying, but in reality, we are already there. It is already happening. We know it. We see it. We cannot act like we don't see it. There's just, the only difference is we would be the ones activating the messiest parts because they're sure gonna do it. We're so close to it anyway. And that's the thing. To sit back and just let them keep doing what they're doing, knowing where you're headed or where you're likely to be headed. Somebody said, if we cut out, they're gonna start martial law. First of all, you didn't go to COVID? You didn't go to COVID? Okay. I draw the line at mandatory, fuck you, anything, to be honest. But vaccines? And then they done already told you, you know what? We not even gonna play with y'all no more. We just gonna put it in your fake food. They put everything else in there. Bitch, you can't get away with none of this. What's wrong with y'all? They can't get away with none of this. It's not cool. Them mofos didn't create me. If they want babies, children, why don't they make them? They make everything else. Oh, they can't make that. But why? Anything that they make can't replace a child that was born. It can't replace it. It cannot replace it. That should tell you something right there. And this is spiritual, and those are rituals. And that is feeding into evil. It's feeding into that evil. The shit is evil of itself, even if it was for no purpose. People say, why Jeffrey Dahmer do all this and all that? All that shit is evil.
Remember, if a civil war is to break out in a country, that means that there has been a complete collapse of that society. You're not calling the police. The most ruthless, the most...
Hold on, we're not calling them now. It's a collapse right now. This is an illusion that we're in, that this is something that is working, and we know it's not. We're just the dummies that are still holding on to it. You know, it's funny because what just came across to me, that post about them finding the 95 bodies at the sugar factory, and they say they work them sun up, sun down till they collapse. And I think about the fact that I had a shift this morning, right, and it got canceled. I don't know what they was doing. But I think about the shift yesterday, and it's the same hours every day. And that sun up to sun fucking down. That's too many hours for somebody to be constantly working for you. And because this is kind of new for me, I'm like, I mean, that's good and everybody pretty much cool and all, but y'all, they not even paying enough for this. Like, should not be considered normal. From freaking 8 o'clock to 8:30 at night. All yours except for 2 15-minute breaks, 1 30-minute break. You can't do nothing else. You can't be on your phone, of course. And you're restricted to what you're going to take in as far as hydration, anything. You completely neglect what you need to sustain yourself. Just in existence. And then you put so much on your body. I'm listening to grown males talk about how they feet hurt and everything like that all day. After a certain amount of hours. That is not supposed to happen. And we've been cool with this consistently over time. For them to hand you peanuts so you can still worry about how you're going to collectively take care of everything you need to take care of. The news reporter said, which is true, that these people, first they would send them to jail, and we knew that was some old, it was a nigga. We know that was some BS. Most of the time, them Negroes didn't do the shit they say they did. They lock them up so they can use them as slaves. Right? Then they send them there so they can work from sun up to sundown, and they would collapse on the field. We know most of the time they didn't get them really nothing to eat and nothing to drink. I know I wouldn't have made it. I would have collapsed the first day. gone out of here. I would have wheeled my body out of there because I'm not finna do that every single day. But it's not that much of a difference, though. It's not. It's not that much of a difference. Because when you get off, even if I was on the road, you're going to be driving that truck. You got a 14-hour shift allotted to you. And a lot of times, even when that you're off that clock, you're still working. And if you're not working, you're somewhere trying to get something, eat, a shower, and then you fall out, hoping to hear the alarm so you can get up. Brilliant. I was going to say 10 hours, but you're going to get up earlier than that because they want you right back at it when that 10-hour break is up and do it all over again. We are not created for that shit. People out here working 2-3 jobs, stressing, hustling, doing whatever, so they can pay all this shit that whatever they say we gotta pay. And in return, what are we getting? The value gets less and less. And in most times, it's no value, especially with what you put in your body. You can't trust the water that comes out your faucet. Everything you do with water, you can't trust the water that comes out your faucet. You can't trust the food you put in your mouth. And people still on this social media and everything treating food like it's really something. When we know it's, you might as well say all of it is fake. Even when people say I got real beef and all that. Hell, the cows and chickens were created anyway, so let's keep that real. But none of this stuff is nothing about this life is good for us. Nothing. Okay, we've been sitting in that for a long time. Too long we've been sitting in that. But now we don't have no doubts or nothing about the fact that the ones who are inflicting this on us so that they can benefit from it. Whatever they want. They don't want the same stuff we want. But whatever it is, taken care of. Including their children and children's children. You want to keep going? Taken care of. All the way down to them letters and stuff y'all reading. I've been got off them files. I ain't even the audacity of all the redactions is just, I would have kicked in them doors like they did on February 7th and just karate chop somebody in their forehead for sending out their damn papers. After all this time, send out the papers like that. Man, once you can just do anything you want with people's children and they still sit there and don't do that, it's nothing left after that. And if you think I don't care what y'all convince yourself of, your creator is not going to be happy with you and bless you and even desire your ass for sitting on your ass and not saving these children. These mofos shouldn't be so bold. They shouldn't. With this case, which is an open case, everybody can see what's going on. For the most part, it's up to you if you dig any further. And a lot of it takes a lot of time and consumption, but for the most part, y'all can clearly see just off what is just open and upfront for the general public, what you see with this pastor and these boys, and you know. For people to be trying to, well, he didn't say that they're doing anything sexual. He said that, the abuse was physical. First of all, the police report is public, is people done read it on social media and everything. And a lot of people who heard about it didn't even find a video of somebody reading the police report and listen to that damn police report. That boy was busted up when he reported this. Then when you watch the live, them man and that woman just sat there and just told on themselves. They just told on themselves. Your head be like this because they just telling it. Is it a in your face, this is what I'm doing in your face type of thing? Or is it a, this has become so much their world that as far as they're concerned, they can't even see that you're gonna look at it and be like, oh, hell no. It could be a combination of both. But either way, they sat there and told you. First, he wasn't supposed to have no contact with the boy. And he called the mama every single day. They were very specific about why he called. He called to check on him, to see if he okay, see if he need anything to eat, see if he want me to buy him something to eat. No, you don't pay for it. I'm gonna take care of it. I mean, every single thing about him in all his day, he had to have all that control. He not used to that boy not being in his control. Then he told on him, so he wanted to make sure that they got a handle on him so he don't try to get away until again. And he know that, hey, I'm right here. You know, the intimidation factor, all of that. They literally sat there and told you that even though he wasn't supposed to contact him, he's still scaring and controlling and contacting him and checking on him and manipulating him and controlling his life through his mama right there. Why he right there? You're not gonna make me believe she didn't at least put him on speakerphone so he can say what he say to him. They sat there and told us that. They said even when there was it's like they were bragging on it. Like that's supposed to make him look good or something. Huh? Then they said he called his grandma. Oh no, the man mocked him. Grandma. He called his grandma and said, Grandma, da-da-da-da, I need help. That didn't work. He got beat up, busted up, went to school, ran and told. They said that boy eyes and stuff was bloody. His lip was busted. He was bleeding. He had visible. Somebody beat him down. Just like the other people are saying they was there. He gets beat down. It's in the police report that he was bloody and busted up and bruised up. He put fisticuffs on the boy. And they still let him make him go back to that. You know, they said he ran, he called his grandma, he told somebody at school. Then they said he ran to Burger King. He tried to escape completely. He ran to Burger King at 10 o'clock at night. They called the police. And I think that's when he busted him up. He was trying to get away. And he was telling the police, I ain't going back there. He said, respectfully, fuck you. I'm not going back there. They still make him go back. And he, like, what are we doing? And then he gonna shame him online in front of the world. And that boy sitting there with his eyebrows arched in between them. When he knew what all of them doing to him, even what we saw with our own eyes was terrible. And they showed us that. Not to mention the other stuff that we saw that's not on these videos out here. But you got to go looking at their pages, go looking at his posts, go looking at their sermons and shit like that. And you know that this is a operation. It's a ring. It's a cult. Whatever you want to call it. Epstein Island, whatever you want to call it. And this boy said, no, I want out. And he's just beaten and tortured and ridiculed. And he's been beaten and tortured because he tried to get away. And we would have never known all the times he kept trying to get away if they wouldn't have sat in that live. They told us so much. They told us on themselves so much in that live. I was just sitting here like, I can't believe I'm gonna do a live on my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna be laptop. I'm gonna be showing so much about this case, but it's an army already, trying to get him. But can you really trust that shit? Okay, you trust, man. Okay, you trust. And in this world, because mofos is sick like that. Who can't you trust? When you see grown man choosing to take boys for his objection and pleasure, and then commingling with a bunch of adults, and they all doing the same thing, and they all doing. Then another dude came out last night with some shit to let you know that they got weird, sexual stuff going on with them, even outside of that. And the wilds be knowing about it and stuff like that. And when this dude say he traveling, that the entrepreneurship is a must for the boys. And he keeps stressing it. But you ain't never told us what business they got. What business is he in? He may look 10 or 12, but he is literally 16 years old. You keep saying entrepreneurship. You stand him up front of the church, he gonna be thriving in his businesses and all that stuff. He never not once said he sell candy. He sell trucker hats. I mean, the boy draws real good and he sells artwork. He ain't told us nothing he do. But y'all always traveling, and you posting about the traveling, and we don't see nothing you did on them travels. But we will see fine dining with grown men, like looking like double dates. The fuck, we know what it is. We see the way all these dudes hugged up on each other and everything. We know what's going on. And the parents, that sold them. I can't wait to get on my YouTube. And it's probably going to be this evening. I pray that it's this evening, because I really cannot wait. I'm not even going to get into that no more. I'm just saying to be so freaking bold. And this is where we got these folks. We got these folks good and comfortable doing the shit they doing. For all the times that somebody touched somebody's baby, somebody ignored it, that person still come around, they violated. It's one thing to know about it, but to participate in it, the mama, his own mother, to participate in it, that's a whole nother kind of evil. And then doing this under the guise of the church. How many religions do this? How many denominations? How many of them do this? Yeah, Eddie Long that passed away. People just let this shit slide. Y'all gotta stop.
Deprived people
Okay,
will win. Neighborhoods will be turned into mass graves. The body parts of hundreds of dead women and children would be littered in the streets like yesterday's garbage. There would be food deserts. Hospitals would shut down. The children would have it the worst. Young boys would be forced by militias to fight. Some of them would be forced to kill their own parent. Go look up the civil wars in Sierra Leone.
They should be trained to fight anyway. That's where I come from. Children aren't raised like this. As coveted as I was as a child, especially as a girl, I learned things for survival. It's just it used to be a standard. From what I know, where I come from, children shoot, they're good at it, they know how to run a farm, cut up a skin of chicken, skin of deer, even a bear. I mean, just we can't have the fairy tale that we want. This is what we got. This is what we got, and we're the weakest bunch out of them all. And no matter how much junk we try to talk about our parents, even their parents, we're the weakest bunch of them all. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that they weren't to a place where they should have tell some shit up, because they were, but that was per culture. That was a culture thing. When you think about the Germans, they had their time where they went through their stuff. Everybody else wasn't going through what they went through. And you talking about us, we went through what we was going through, but yeah, everybody was benefiting from it. Everybody wasn't going through what we was going through. This is a whole collective thing. Unless you're one of them. That's it. This is a collective thing. We ain't never been down this bad before. It's not avoidable because it's already active. And it's more than clear that they're for the ones who keep thinking that they're gonna care about you somehow, some way, that should have been a thing of our parents. That they still holding on to that, not us. We should be very clear on that by now. Should have been clear on it, but we should be very clear that we are in Molly, you're in danger type shit. Like, they really don't care about you. And it's just not possible. It's not going to happen. You can wish this and third. It's still not going to happen. And the plans that they have for you, first of all, you shouldn't even want them to get any worse. This dude is clearly a bitch. Because for him to be a guy talking like this, I mean, he's saying realistic things. But for him to be coming out here with his shaky ass voice, and you can see, look at the look on his face. I want to unpause it so you can really see his face, but you can see he looked fucking scared. Go back to him, to where he came from with that bullshit. Because this is a very good video. He really did his thing. And that's going to affect a lot of people, and people was already scared. But it's definitely going to give them a visual to ponder in their minds. And they want people to do shit like this. They do. They want people to do shit like this because this video alone could have people, continuously saying, and that's what makes other people dangerous, because they'll try to stop your ass. They'll interfere with what you're trying to do because they're afraid of the repercussions. This shit is unavoidable. These folks got their shit already planned out. And I'm not finna sit here. I can't take no more. We all should be feeling that way. I can't take no more. We're going to have to fight over this shit. It's going to be one way or the other, but we here to let you know we're not for it. And if I die in the process, then that's what I'm supposed to do. Why you afraid of dying? I don't know. That's weird. It's weird to me mentally, especially because y'all want to cling on to a life that is not life. So it's like you scared of the pain, you scared of hurt, you scared you scared of that because you think that's gonna be the worst pain than anything you can imagine. That's what I think. Because you just think it's gonna be so. It has to hurt to die. It has to hurt to die. I'm afraid of what that's gonna feel like. What my body has to go through to transition out of itself. I get you. I mean, it hurt when you can't even hear. Somebody was screaming. If it wasn't you, it was the mama. Somebody was screaming. It hurt. It did. Yep. So that's you know, it's not avoidable any way you look at it, but to determine how you're gonna go, like fighting versus just what could be the next thing that they could possibly do that you guys are like, I'm willing to accept that, because that's what you're saying. You're saying I'm willing to accept whatever they got cooked up next, because you done accepted so many things that I honestly, I just never, I never, I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. I've been flabbergasted a long time ago. But yeah, we draw the line in these children. Because if we can't save the children, we ain't shit. I don't care what you tell yourself about your relationship with God and what you think God and this and that. God don't fuck with you if you ain't trying to help these children. You sit here letting this shit happen to these children. We know this is happening to these children. All children are in danger. We all are in danger. We're supposed to be fighting for ourselves, period. This is not the y'all say you're going to be judged by the life you live. You're going to get in heaven, be in God's good favor, all that stuff by the life you live. You're living a life that is forced upon you. Nobody's walking in their true path that was created for them and designed for them. I can tell you for a fact that I'm not. Do I know what that should be in some areas? Is that happening? Interference. Interference. Intentional interference, too. That's even more offensive. They didn't create me. They don't get to decide my shit. This is the only life you get here, and it's over with. So you spend your life, you walk the path that's something that didn't create you, that's man or whatever decided for you, and you suffer through it. Because if you saying this ain't suffering, okay, must be your thing then. Must be your thing. Maybe that food and stuff that's for you, because you ain't real. Because this, fuck, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, how can I ever be settled, happy, comfortable, or shit like that? This is not the path our creator created for us. We ain't supposed to be doing half the shit we doing. Acting the way we're acting, accepting things we're accepting. No, we are here to put the work in. We are here to work, to serve. Because it's selfish thinking and selfish talk. All this shit this dude's saying, it's realistic. But at the end of the day, you supposed to look at that shit and be like, okay, we know what war was supposed to be like. We comprehend that. At the end of the day, that just because that's a fact of history, and it doesn't mean that determines what's going to happen in this situation. And if it does, instead of being afraid, why not put all your power that you can into it? Should have been did it, because they do nothing but restricting slowly by slowly. Each year, it's more and more restrictions over all the things that would have so much easier helped us to come together like we're supposed to, so we can take more control of our lives, so we can do what we are supposed to be doing here. And one of them is protecting these children. You happy they doing it with them because they not after you? These niggas be trying to snatch us up every day. And we just stay alert, stay strapped, keep it moving, evade. You ducking and dodging, evasion every time you go out here around here. You literally can see them plotting on you, coming for you, following you, everything, trying to line you up so you can get that perfect grab. You gotta stay on a swivel out here. Somebody snatch you up. Just imagine half the things and all the torture. Them hearts, minds, bodies, and souls are on us. If you think they're not, because I'm not doing it, bitch, you letting it happen. You know about it, and you're letting it happen. Y'all say, oh, mandate reporter, you're mandated. If you know about it, you got to report it. And then you say in the Bible, it's worse if you know. So your job is I don't know, fucking go to work, pay your bills every day. Like Master say, because you got to obey him before you obey your creator. It's parents not even protecting their own children. Parents selling out their children. Parents.
In Liberia, horrible, horrific acts of SA would be committed with no one there to stop it.
It's being committed right now with no one to stop.
Some militias might even force young boys to essay their own family members just to mentally break
People
them
do that now.
and to
corrupt their mind. Hold on, Slick. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, because that shit is happening now. And too much. It's not happening a little bit. It's happening a lot. We can get into it because y'all just turn away from things. And a lot of people have experienced this. A lot of people have experienced it. And there are people experiencing it every day. People are not the same anymore. They are way more corrupt. They are way more disassociated and heartless and full of them demons. So we ain't cool really around nobody no more. The story I just seen the other day. Dude he was a single father. I think she was like 12 years old. And you see the body cam with the cop come in. I don't know what the call was and everything like that. It didn't start there. But you can just get the vibe that he on some BS. I guess she ran away or something. And they ended up finding her body. He was sleeping with her. He got her pregnant. This should be on repeat. It'd be on repeat. And we're not even going to talk about 5-year-old Shania that lived right around the corner from where my mother stayed. Her mom sold her for a $20 debt. And the thing that sticks in everybody's head is the video footage of Mario carrying this girl, hair sticking all out, and a blanket draped over her barefoot in a hotel lobby into the hotel room. Now, the act alone was too much trauma for her body. He didn't beat her to... He did grown hard man things with this 5-year-old's frame. And that was too much stress and trauma for her body, and then tossed her on out there on a road that I've traveled my whole life, you know what I mean? And she was laying out there all the months we were looking for her. She was really just off on the side of the road. And that was her mother's first time getting her. First time getting her. That was the first time the dad let her get the baby. Then the other lady in the the shelter with her children, some dude there and his wife, she ended up letting her daughter go with the man and the wife. I don't know why. Because he's gifting. No. I think he went and got her from school and told the school he was a family member or something like that. I think that's what happened. Took that girl to the hotel with him and his wife. And his wife don't know why we got this little girl. Well, clearly she did, because the wife, and left her in the room, and him and the girl was gone for like 2 days. But it ends the same way. He got his pleasure, and she's no longer here. Wife gone too, but the little girl's no longer here, and she went through all that. Because there's some demons out here on demon time. On demon time. We can go story for story. That stuff he talking about, sons and mothers, that woman, this was a black woman too, came and told a story about her son. Can't say that. Yeah, her son was living with her, and she told him that horrifying story of what she was going through and thinking with her own son on top of her, forcing her. That's how far this stuff been happening, but it's really on another level now. We ain't got no other choice but to be soldiers out here. All right, cricket. And you know, like, we should have been geared up a long time ago, because it's just more restricted and restricted and restricted. And the only thing you do when you don't fight the devil is give him more power. And the only thing that they have is more of an advantage. All they ever could want is more of an advantage. And that's what they got, more of an advantage. It's inevitable. Because when it hits you in your face, it hits you at your door, most of y'all, while we playing with it, let's just be all the way real. Because he's saying what he's saying, but fuck all that. You can listen to that and be like, okay, so as an adult, you can accept that reality because that's the reality, right? But you most of y'all have children that are underage, not adults. Even if it was your adult child, because some of us have grandchildren, but you have children. Y'all was just on here the other day in a frizzy about the fact that they're shutting down schools. First of all, your children shouldn't be going to their schools, but y'all also saw this coming. No? Yeah. Why are we surprised? Then you saying, where are children gonna go? Do you hear yourself? Go ahead and speak. Go ahead and speak it. Your words have power. Go ahead. Let them know exactly who you are. They're watching everything, listening to everything anyway. They already know who you are. They all in your head, your eyeballs, everything. They know who you are, but that's so typical. So you're fully there. Where are our children going to go? You're just going to yell it out for your earthly gods that are in charge to let them know you're bamboozled, you don't know what to do, and you want them to fix it. You want them to find somewhere for your children with all that you know about what they got going on. And you still want them to find a place for your children. Instead of looking to your creator and looking to each other like you're supposed to do. But no, everybody got a problem with somebody, right? Everybody got a problem about something. You got a problem about something. Men and women, they can't stand each other. I mean, the men are off the chain though, but women and children gonna be off the chain by proxy. Because remember, y'all said God, but y'all in charge. So yeah, it's chaotic because your ass is chaotic. So it's what it is. Y'all want them to find somewhere to play. They really are gonna shut them schools down. Bro, they already told y'all they want being with children to be a preference, and they're not even really calling them children. They're saying you can choose whatever age that you are attracted. You can be attracted to anybody of any age. It's just a preference. All right. They changed the etymology of words. Okay. All the time. So we're gonna change what this definition is. We're gonna change the definition. We're gonna flip the whole thing up. Okay, we're gonna clean up real nice, make it look real good for us. And it's just basically almost really going back to what they were doing before legally. It's just on a whole nother level. Because they said any age. Then your boy told you, thanks, Hannah. Your boy told you when your kid get 8 years old, that's an adult. That's what this is. That's an adult. And y'all still ain't budge. Ain't changed not a lick.
Because if you could kill your own parents and you can essay your own mother, you will do anything. That is the reality of civil war. Imagine what we are reading in the Epstein files. It would be that times probably 40 on a daily basis. And usually after a revolution or some type of government overhaul or civil war, once the smoke is cleared, there's going to be some charismatic leader who rises up and uses their power and influence to snuff out all their political rivals and lead the country into more wars, just like Napoleon.
Yeah, bitch. Okay.
When y'all go on and
thank you for the educational, whatever. He sound like a bitch. He sound like a bitch because in theory, all that can't happen. But he don't know that. This bitch nigga. Yeah, I'm going there. He ain't create none of this either. He's a fearmonger. He ain't create none of this either. And so what he's saying is he ain't fighting shit and he don't want this to go down. He's the problem. He's the problem. You have no idea how to use people. Because half of y'all don't even pay attention to how to use Jesse. Half of y'all still talking about, rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. We love you, Jesse. You did your thing, Jesse. You sure does, Jesse. Oh, Jesse. We don't know nothing about you, Jesse. But good times, Jesse. And he's literally their fucking dog. Their fucking pet dog. Like, just cut it out. Let him fearmonger. All that shit he talking. Okay. You want a cookie for this shit? Alright. No, it doesn't sound fun, but we're not gonna avoid this level of chaos. In no way, shape, or form. See, I should do a reverse video for that. And I just might. Do a reverse short just in response to this because your reality is not looking any different. You like if you don't see the play, then I guess you're never gonna see it. But they already have all that lined up for you anyway. You nothing but for their use and entertainment. They don't turn your children all the way out. They are not what it was. And not even to you, because there is no way. There's no way. There's no way. Y'all would just keep sending your children back to them. So you can't fuck with each other that badly to create a situation where you can save your children. You have no future. When we perish, that's it. These children are not gonna leave no future or nothing. That I believe the children are future. Whitney Houston shit. That died with us. That was back then. All that stuff is gone now. All that stuff is gone. They have completely changed everything. All that stuff he talking is not only not abnormal, they already grooming and violating your children and getting them accustomed to a lot of these things now, and they're not being protected, and they just share it with each other, or they share it with them in the curriculums at school. Y'all know this. They'll change their gender, tell them they can change their gender and pick from 167, whatever the number is at now. Born with a blank birth certificate, you can't touch them. Them children don't even respect you like that anymore. And the best that you have in order to have that structure with your children is for you to have an intact village. And a lot of us don't have that. At best, one might have that immediate family structure, barely, because everybody working, right? Yeah. And you are still limited in what you can even do with that child. And they know everything that's going on with you and your child. Everybody, your wife, everybody, every second of every day. And when you leave and you go deal with what you're dealing with, you have no idea what is going on with your child when they're away from you. They already showed you and told you who they are, all the way down to the curriculums, all the way down to both of y'all go in the same bathroom, all the way down to you can choose your own gender, all the way down to if we decide, because they program them anyway. But if they decide they want to even have a major surgery that doesn't make any logical sense, it's not going to be medically successful. They don't have to tell you shit. Who's you? They come to us and we make it happen. And you can't do shit about it. And y'all with children, you still move around here like shit sweet. Then you dead, bro. You dead. It's just a bunch of dead people. Yeah, you dead. Cause if I have my children are grown. Cause I dodged the bullet on that. There's no way in bloody bit of Hades. I don't care what kind of child it is. I don't care what is going on with that child. When you get to talking all that crazy stuff, what the hell? So who's you? That's really something. And people are still having children. These people literally have children so they can give them away. Y'all are participating in a ritual that is so heavy, and you know it's not right, but you're still participating in it, and that is watching what's happening with Krishan's son. So many people are, if you know about it and you've seen it, then you participate in it too. It's no, you don't get no exemption. People want to think that they're exempt from some shit. Y'all not exempt from this. Nobody is. All the ones that say, I can't watch the video. It's too much. I didn't watch it all the way, but you over here chatting. Take your ass somewhere and jump off a bridge or something. Get the fuck away from here. You ain't even looking at the same shit that we're looking at. You're not hearing what we hear. You won't even pay attention to something that this child cannot have a say so in and get out of. That is happening to them. I pray for you, baby. I pray. No, you don't. Because if you did, God will answer your ass back and tell you, you turn your back on the child. So what are you talking to me about? You want what? No, you don't. Mm-mm. No, you don't. Not at all. So at the end of the day, hopefully you found something here useful, especially
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back. What I read initially, because that was my primary focus on this video. And I'm going to tell you who that was. Let me turn the volume down, because every time I click on something, it's going to be like that. Loud and loud and loud. So where is it? And did I unsave it? I know it was Mommy's Lawyer or something. I downloaded it. Yeah, the Mama Attorney. That was kind of close. She's the one who wrote all of that. So if you did miss any of this video, I am going to upload it to my YouTube. It's going to take some time for it to go up there. But that was very, very, very good. Very good. So I had to speak on that. Peace. I never see the end button.